What makes a man famous? First of all, this is his or her outstanding, unique personality. At the time of bloggers, singers, and actresses, one of the most popular and influential celebrities of the 21st century may become a talk show host. Ellen DeGeneres has long overcome the path from stand-up to television and has become a media tycoon and pioneer in the field of LGBT people. She managed to turn her talent to make people laugh into a fortune, estimated at $330 billion.
Nice.
DeGeneres was born in New Orleans, Louisiana, in 1958. Her mother, Elizabeth Jane, worked as a speech therapist, and her father, Elliot Everett DeGeneres, was an insurance agent. Ellen grew up in a very conservative family due to the religious beliefs of her parents. They were Christian Scientists and adhered to the Christian Science religion. Ellen says that at home it was highly irregular to show any bright emotions. All feelings that were not a manifestation of happiness or joy were denied. DeGeneres says that this is what led her to become incredibly sensitive to the emotions and feelings of other people. In addition, one of the main beliefs of scientists was that the mind is superior to matter. Her parents did not believe in doctors and the use of drugs. They believed that pain was a more mental condition than any physical illness. Despite such a non-standard upbringing, Ellen grew up as an active, energetic, and sensitive child. When she was 13 years old, her parents divorced. In her interviews, the famous TV presenter says that during this period of time, she felt like her mother's roommate, and for their safety, she even had to kick out some of the men Elizabeth met. So at the age of 13, it was like I became an adult, says Ellen. After some time, Ellen's mother married Roy Grussendorf, a local store seller. Betty Jane and Ellen moved with Grussendorf from New Orleans to Atlanta, Texas. Her brother Vance stayed with her father. Shortly after marriage, Ellen's mother was diagnosed with breast cancer. It was a difficult period for their family, and it was in those years that DeGeneres discovered the power of comedy. She did everything possible to cheer her mother up and get her out of depression. At the same time, Ellen became a victim of harassment by her stepfather. He used her mother's diagnosis to touch the girl's chest, allegedly checking if she herself was sick. Ellen's stepfather carried out this procedure regularly. Once it came to the point that she had to get out of the window when he tried to break into the girl's bedroom. DeGeneres did not tell anything to her mother because she was afraid to destroy her family happiness. Only a few years later, she told the truth, but Elizabeth Jane did not believe her and sided with her husband. This psychological trauma greatly affected Ellen's future life, but now she speaks openly about it, urging women to protect themselves and their daughters from violence. We women simply do not feel that we are worthy, or are afraid to have the right to vote, are afraid to say no. It's time for us to have a voice. It's time for us to have power, she says. After graduating from high school, DeGeneres returned to New Orleans to study communication studies at the university. The decision to move was partially influenced by her desire to escape from her stepfather. Her studies lasted only one semester, after which Ellen dropped out of university and began working. She served tables, sold vacuum cleaners, painted houses, and was a lawyer's secretary. None of these part-time jobs allowed Ellen to feel in her place and realize comedy talent. Then DeGeneres began to arrange small stand-up performances for her friends. Soon, she was invited to perform at local coffee shops, and by the beginning of the 1980s, she had already toured the country. With her burning self-irony, Ellen began to quickly pave the way for success. She wanted to be unique, famous, and rich, and her humor became the best means to achieve this goal. In 1982, Showtime named her the funniest person of the year based on the search for new comedy talents. Ellen DeGeneres was widely recognized in 1986 when she was invited to perform at the evening show with Johnny Carson. This was her first appearance on national television. Before her, other comedians also performed in the program with the highest rating, but DeGeneres became the first person whom Carson invited to sit on the couch and give an interview with after the performance. In addition, that evening Ellen made it into history, becoming the first woman to perform on the show. This show brought her career to a new level. New performances on television, roles in advertising and sitcoms followed. After participating in several low-rating series in March 1994, DeGeneres, at the age of 36, got the main role in the new sitcom All My Friends, in the Seinfeld style. Many viewers liked her heroine so much, bookstore owner Ellen Morgan, that when the series was renamed after the first season to avoid confusion with Friends, it was called Ellen. By the second season, this comedy became one of the highest rated on American television. The series received several awards, including 4 Golden Globe nominations and 10 Emmy nominations. The show went down in history in 1997, when Ellen's character admitted her homosexuality. The sitcom was the first primetime show with an open homosexual character. One of the highest-rated episodes, entitled Episode with a Puppy, was watched by over 42 million fans. According to the plot, Ellen's heroine in the show admitted her sexual orientation in front of the therapist played by Oprah Winfrey. A couple of weeks before the episode was released, DeGeneres, being a guest star on The Oprah Show, also openly stated that she was a lesbian. Her coming out caused wide resonance and criticism from the public. In the 1990s, even in the United States of America, such confessions were not welcome. Ellen received hundreds of letters with insults and death threats, and religious conservatives labeled her Ellen DeGenerate, by analogy with the word degenerate. Her sitcom was cancelled next year. Many fans suspected that the cancellation was caused by homophobia, which led to protests about homosexual rights groups. For some time, it seemed that Ellen's career would not recover. However, DeGeneres did not lose optimism and said in an interview that the loss of all this made her understand that all these things are very fugacious. She explained, "If success really depends on whether someone likes you or does not like you, it's just a morbid lifestyle." As a result, society's failure to accept her orientation only helped the comedian rise higher than she could dream of. In subsequent years, as a film actress, DeGeneres starred in several films, including Mr. Wong and The Love Letter. She also voiced Dory in Pixar animated films Finding Nemo and Finding Dory. For her work in the cartoon Finding Nemo, Ellen was awarded the Saturn Prize as the Best Supporting Actress. For the first time, the actress received the Saturn Award for voicing the character. In September 2003, DeGeneres launched her own daytime television talk show, The Ellen DeGeneres Show. There were many new talk shows that year, but Ellen rose to the top and has not lost ground since then. In many polls, she even beat Oprah Winfrey among the favorites of fans when these two shows went simultaneously. In its first season, it was nominated for 11 Daytime Emmy Awards and won 4, including Best Talk Show. In total, during her first 3 seasons on the air, the show received 25 Emmy Awards. Ellen's signature style is pleasant frivolity and carefree playfulness that DeGeneres brings. She asks the audience to forget about their problems and enjoy communicating with famous people. At the end of each show, she dances and thanks the audience, often involving them in the action. The Ellen Show became a real phenomenon. All celebrities sought to get there. Every year, the popularity of the comedian and her project grew. However, in July 2020, articles were published in the media in which former employees accused the producers of the show of toxic attitudes towards them, harassment, racism, and microaggression. Ellen herself was under attack because she always promoted good attitude towards other people, but nevertheless did nothing to rectify the situation on her project before the articles were published. DeGeneres apologized to the employees, stressing that she wants her show to be a place where everyone is respected. Many wondered if the show would be cancelled after this scandal. Instead, Ellen decided to drop the curtain on herself. On May 12, 2021, DeGeneres announced that she would stop her talk show after the end of the 19th season in 2022. "From the very beginning, I said that this show would be like a relationship," Ellen said in her video message. "We went through the good and the bad, through the 50 Shades of Grey phase. It was a lot of fun, and 16 years is a very good term. Sometimes you have to take a break in a relationship." Ellen's career was not focused only on her show. DeGeneres was invited several times as the host of the prestigious Emmy and Oscar Awards. She even took part in one season of the famous talent show American Idol as a judge. The presenter left this project herself, and it was very difficult for her to make a choice among talented musicians and break their hearts. At the same time, Ellen developed her other projects. She founded the record company 1111, as well as the production company A Very Good Production. She also launched the ED Ellen DeGeneres brand, which includes a collection of clothes, accessories, home goods, children, and pets.
No idea this is part of my hosting duties.
DeGeneres also writes and publishes books since the 90s. Her first book, My Point and Do I Have One, became an instant bestseller in 1995. Among her other works are books such as Seriously, I'm Kidding, Funny Thing, and House. Ellen is not only a best-selling author, she also likes to read. Over the years, she has given many recommendations to her fans. Among her favorite books are 4 Agreements, The Art of Racing in the Rain, and The Goldfinch. The audience was always very interested in what was happening to DeGeneres' personal life. Although she had affairs with men, she still had a serious relationship only with women, mainly with actresses, especially after her coming out. For more than 13 years, Ellen has been happy in marriage. Her beloved and legal wife is 48-year-old actress of Australian descent, Portia de Rossi. DeGeneres and Portia de Rossi met in 2000, but began dating after the VH1 Big in 04 award ceremony in December 2004. Within a few months, they came together and officially declared themselves a couple. In 2008, the California Supreme Court legalized same-sex marriage, and soon after, DeGeneres and Rossi married. There is no doubt that Ellen DeGeneres has an impressive fortune, about $330 million. Forbes puts DeGeneres on a par with the richest superstars, such as Taylor Swift, Kim Kardashian West, and Beyoncé Knowles. With all this money comes a great influence. In 2015, Forbes named her the 50th most influential woman in the field of entertainment. Ellen spends her annual income of $75 million on charity and her hobbies. DeGeneres actively supports such charity organizations as Gentle Barn, a shelter for the animals who underwent ill treatment in California, and Humane Society of the USA. She took her pets, 3 cats and 2 dogs from the shelter as well. As a child, the famous presenter wanted to become a veterinarian, but she considered herself not well-read and smart enough for this. In interviews, she often speaks of the love and admiration she has for animals. Ellen and her wife are vegetarian. The famous TV presenter loves luxury in everything. The most expensive watches and luxury cars can be found in her collections. Ellen's favorite companies are Rolex and Porsche. Luxurious real estate is another passion of DeGeneres. Together with her wife, she buys houses, improves them using her design talent, and then resells them for a large amount. Therefore, since 2003, the star and her wife, Portia de Rossi, bought and then sold about 20 giant real estates. This is what Ellen says about this habit. We buy a house, we like it, and we stay in it. And then we get a little bored because we like a different style or another aesthetic. And I love furniture and I like to decorate. So if I find something else and we make money, why not move to another house? At the moment, she owns 4 houses. Most often, Ellen and her wife live in a giant mansion in the most prestigious area of California. A magnificent Balinese house located on 3.3 hectares of land overlooking the Pacific Ocean is located in Montecito. It has 5 bedrooms, 10 bathrooms, several living rooms, dining rooms, and a huge kitchen. There are many decorative elements, including works of modern art, statues, and plants. The backyard is even more impressive. Right when you go outside, there is a stunning endless pool, from which there is a beautiful view of the ocean. In addition, the site has a guest house, a luxurious gazebo, a private gym, and a place for sitting at the fire. There is also a couple's personal tennis court. DeGeneres is very athletic. She is especially fond of football and tennis. Moreover, her houses are famous not only for interesting solutions and interior details. Ellen loves and appreciates art. She has works by such famous contemporary artists as Jean-Michel Basquiat, Diego Giacometti, and Andy Warhol. She also has older works, for example a carpet from Agra of the 19th century, a chandelier of Serge Mouet, benches in the Spanish colonial style, a painting by Marc Grosjean, and much more. In addition, Ellen collects old portraits, each time trying to figure out who and why is depicted in the picture. The main feature of the TV presenter is, of course, an unsurpassed sense of humor. In addition to comments in the style of stand-up, she is famous for her pranks. In such a way, during her talk shows, She often scares her guests by someone, usually Ellen herself, jumping out from behind the side table on the set in different guises. It can be a monster, a double actor, a giant clown on a spring, and other characters. Her unexpected appearance at the graduation ceremony at Tulane University was one of Ellen's best jokes. DeGeneres followed the famous Bill Clinton and George W. Bush, dressed in a robe and slippers. As she stated when she went to the podium, they told me that everyone would be in robes. Today, Ellen DeGeneres is 63 years old. She has 30 Emmy Awards, 20 People's Choice Awards, more than any other person, and many other awards for her work and charity work. In 2016, she received the Presidential Medal of Freedom, a prestigious award given to individuals who have contributed to notable changes and progress in the United States. The president noted her courage, shown at a time when marriage equality was not widespread in the United States, which contributed to the progress of LGBT equality, and the president emphasized her extraordinary comedy talent. Ellen DeGeneres showed us that one person can make the world more fun, more open, more loving, just living a life, she said. On January 5, 2020, the presenter also received the Carol Burnett Golden Globe Award for outstanding contribution to the development of television on and off the screen. The path to recognition, fame, and luxurious life was long and winding for Ellen. It is our problems and obstacles that give us depth and make us interesting. Are we having fun when they happen? No, but they make us unique, and that's what I know for sure. This is Ellen DeGeneres' quote, which describes her path, consisting of numerous difficulties and obstacles that stood in her way, but which never prevented her from becoming the successful person that she is today. Ellen proves in her projects and interviews again and again that even in the darkest of times there is a place for a joke, and that the courage to be ourselves can give us the life we dream of.
Thank you. Thank you all.